Every organism of the living world, whether it is plant, animal or a microorganism, is unique in itself. This uniqueness of individuals is the basis of the diversity that is shown by the living organisms. The natural world possesses vast diversity. All living organisms vary considerably in their forms, structures and modes of life. To understand and discuss them individually is impossible task. That is why we need to classify them in a systematic manner. The term systematics is used to cover the scientific study of the diversity and differentiation of organisms and the relationships which exist between them. Taxonomy is that part of systematics which deals with the study of classification, including its basis, principles, procedures and rules. Biological diversity means the variability among living organisms from all sources, including terrestrial, aquatic and other ecosystems. For studying the diversity of living organisms in an effective way, we have to arrange various kinds of organisms in an orderly or systematic manner. For example, if we want to study about an organism, our first requirement would be to assort its various varieties under the species, and in the next step, on the basis of similarities and dissimilarities, these varieties are arranged into groups under the species. During further steps, on the basis of similarities and differences, species are arranged into higher and higher categories such as genus, family, order, class and phylum. The method of arranging organisms into groups or sets on the basis of similarities and differences is called classification. The science of classification is known as taxonomy. Classification of living organisms has the following advantages. Classification makes the study of a wide variety of organisms easy. Classification projects before us as a picture of all life forms at a glance. Classification is essential to understand the interrelationships among different groups of organisms. Classification forms a base for the development of other biological sciences.
Chola dynasty. He captured Tanjore from the Muttarayars and made it his capital in 850 AD. He defeated the Pallava king Aparajita and conquered his kingdom. He also annexed the Kongu country. He was a worshipper of Shiva. He built Shiva temple in many places. The later Chola dynasty ruled the Chola Empire from 1070 AD until the demise of the empire in 1279 AD. This dynasty was the product of decades of alliances based on marriages between the Chola and Eastern Chalukyas based in Venki, and produced some of the greatest Chola emperors such as Kulothunga Chola I. The extent of the Chola Empire during this period stretched from the island of Sri Lanka to the Kalinga in the northeast. The empire also had active political and trade contacts with the maritime kingdoms of the Malay and China. The Cholas had a huge impact on India, especially the Tamil-speaking parts of South India, not only from a political dimension but also in the arts and culture. Thanks to the patronage of the Chola rulers, numerous Hindu temples, including Tanjavur temple and the Gangaikonda Cholapuram temple, were built. Literature flourished under the Chola rulers and education was promoted, leading to a high literacy rate among their subjects. The later Pandya dynasty. The 13th century is the greatest period in the history of the Pandyan Empire. This period saw the rise of 7 prime Lord Emperors of Pandya who ruled the kingdom alongside Pandyan princes. The power reached its zenith under Jatavarman Sundara Pandyan in the middle of the 13th century. The foundation for such a great empire was laid by Maravarman Sundara Pandyan early in the 13th century. Pandian power extended from the Telugu countries on banks of the Godavari river to Sri Lanka, which was invaded by Jatavarman Sundara Pandian I in 1258 AD and on his behalf by his younger brother Jatavarman Veerapandiyan II from 1262 AD to 1264 AD. They ruled the whole peninsula. The invasion of Delhi Sultanate shattered the Pandian Empire beyond revival, and coinage discoveries made it imply that the later Pandyas were left with the South Arcot district of Tamil Nadu. Pearl fishing was an important industry that flourished during the Sangam age. The Pandian port city of Korkai was the center of pearl trade. Written records from Greek and Egyptian voyages give details about the pearl fisheries of the Pandian coast.